Great. Thanks all for our judges. It's a pretty long session. It's a very exciting section. We have companies from Singapore, Australia, and Germany, and America. It's quite diversified companies all over the world. So, and thanks all for judge time. I'd like to invite each of the judge to give an overall feedback on typically on 3 things. Number 1 is that what are the companies you like? No more than 3. So 1 or 2 is recommended. You really like and give a reason. So second question is that any suggestions in general about how those companies, particularly good companies, can improve? Because we want to focus on winners there. So third question is that what type of things you would like to see or more from those companies? That's 3 questions. Whoever is ready to start.
Okay, I can start. We're picking 1 winner or 2? I'm sorry, I wasn't sure.
We're picking 1 or 2 winners.
Okay.
But on this is not your formal voting. Voting will by email. We do have a jury, a couple of investors going to watch the video. Right now, just give a feedback. The company you really like, 1 or 2 or 3.
Okay. My favorite company today, and I thought everybody did a really phenomenal job. I thought all the pitches today were really spectacular. So congratulations to all of you for just a really excellent job. It's clear a lot of work and effort has gone into this, which is great. My favorite pitch that I saw today was, I believe they're called Canada Superfresh on this list, but they're they were called something else in the presentation, the counting of the software that counted.
Automatic the fruit, Scott.
Yes. They were my favorite. I think I gave a little bit of feedback to Matt, the presenter, after the presentation. I just think that it was a really clearly explained value proposition. You know, the USP was super clear. It was obvious that a lot of market research had been done and that the solution that was most asked for by the customer and made the most sense for the customer problem on the ground had been delivered on. And that's something I don't see a lot in a lot of pitches. So being able to see that USP explained really clearly and plainly, and then to understand that this was the solution that was being backed by customer dollars, really went a long way for me. So that's my favorite that I saw today. In general, feedback for everyone or improvements for everyone. I think, you know, the more that you can have a really simplified deck and a really simplified pitch, and a very clear and concise presentation that an 8-year-old could understand with as few big words as possible. That's my recommendations for absolutely everyone going forward. From the investor side of the table, someone who sits on the other side of the screen on a lot of these, the attention span is super short and no one's thinking a lot at the end of a long day. So I think the startups that really did a really excellent and really exceptional job tonight did that really well in very clearly explaining in a not too complicated fashion what they did quickly in a way that makes you as the investor want to learn more.
Right.
Oh, you're a hard act to follow, Abby. Excellent feedback, and I completely agree with the recommendations that Abby made. My favorite company today was Agribody Technologies, and I'm not a biotech investor, but I wish I was. And he really planted in my mind the opportunity, regardless of the regulatory landscape that he faces. So congratulations. I think the other presentations were very well done. Unfortunately, I don't invest in half of these segments, but the fact that you make me want to, I think, is testimony to the quality of your pitches. So well done. I think one of the key things that I'm looking for is the international opportunity presented by your pitches, and many of them were very domestic. And of course, the US market is big enough as it is, so fair call. But as an international investor looking on, I want to know what's in it for me. And so I was really looking to understand what is the true scalability of your solutions and whether or not it's something that I could easily cookie cut into our markets, either through investment and our distribution networks or the like. So the other key area that I thought was an opportunity for improvement is it really didn't strike me. I'm always looking for three things. I'm looking for how you disrupt the value chain in terms of changing the levels of information risk. We live in a friction-free economy, and there are two levers for disruption: changing the levels of information risk and changing that alignment of incentives across the value chain. And some of you didn't answer those questions for me. The other key point I'm looking for is the best technologies that I invest in are three things. They're oxygen, that is, the farmer can't live without it. They're aspirin, that is, you solve a pain point. And three, ideally, they're jewelry, which gives them bragging rights down at the bar as to why they're using your technology over others. And while in many cases I understood the aspirin, in most cases I didn't see where you were oxygen. And in difficult times such as this pandemic, really understanding that reason to change beyond just solving a simple pain point. I think really understanding how you can transform your value proposition into being oxygen for the farmer and showing that true tangible proof of value. Those proof of value messages didn't really come through that clearly in some of the presentations. So just an area, that's my lens, that's my filter for how I evaluate your presentations, and some of the presentations I couldn't quite tick off. But overall, very well done, and please do reach out to us at R3I Ventures and see how we can help you come into Asia. Happy to help.
Thank you, Lisa. Roger?
Well, given that half the companies that pitched are my clients, I think I'm going to have to recuse myself from offering who my favorite one is.
Okay, so I'll give some feedback. So there's a couple of very interesting presentations. So I probably need to digest a little bit to see which one from a judging standpoint will be winner. I'm not ready to give my judging result yet, but I gave a couple of presentations I like. I like the pumpkin organics presentation, and also the Omi Babs presentation is really well, except too long and the switch and got a problem, a technical problem. Technical problem doesn't count, but the too long is a problem. But in general, the structure, including all the basic items I'm looking for. If you adjust based on Abby's suggestion on make your presentations better, you have a pretty good presentations there. So the Acorn technologies is something I have not, I don't have enough knowledge to make the judgment yet. But I'll give a couple general suggestions. Here about video. So because of the pandemic, and now video presentation or video pitch become far more important. I want you to all the founders think about meeting the investors, particular meeting with hundreds of people through the video, not just think about pitching to 4 investors, boring long meeting. So here's the reason why, because in the past, investors typically would like to meet with the founders before they make any decisions. Now, this part is 90% or 95% cut. But still, investors want to meet the founder virtually. So Zoom meeting become very popular. If you can, so then the video pitch become your new business card. If the founders can prepare a very good video pitch, that's significantly improve your chance of getting a real meeting, real personal Zoom meeting, something like that. For instance, one small suggestion for Pumpkin and Jacqueline. Jacqueline, they're very good at pitch, but you're always looking for something on the side. You're not looking at the camera. So that's a problem. With the investor look at videos, so you're always looking at somebody else. You don't have that personal connection. So this means that you always need to look at the camera and think about the audience. Think about we give you a stage with hundreds of people in front of you, including maybe a number of investors in the audience. How do you build the eye contact? Yes, eye contact in the video pitch. That's it. I'm sure you guys have done a very good job there, and we'll pick up 1 or 2 winners. I'll be announcing later this week. and we invite all our community members to vote